Oh, but I washed my skin with this special soap and I shampooed my hair and then I spray myself with deodorant and perfume and now I smell like flowers, right? No, that doesn't work. So how do you stay clean? People ask me, how do you stay clean? Do you use soap? Do you use shampoo? All these different things. If you take a step back and you think about it, these things are in fact dirty, not clean. They're artificial chemicals, products created by humans that do not belong on our skin. Do you see any animal using these kind of products? No. Can we therefore conclude that for the entire span of the Earth's evolution and history, everything is dirty? And then finally humans come along and they invent soap, and now finally, for the first time in history, we can be clean. Of course not. We've been clean the whole time. We've been clean in our entire history. All animals in the wild, they are clean. They might be physically dirty, as in they have dirt on their skin, but that doesn't mean really being dirty, as in unhealthy. Sure, we get dirty on our skin, we wash it off with water. That's how it works. Simple as that. We don't need to use soap or anything like that. If we have to use soap, chances are we've been engaging in some activity that is very unclean. Like, for example, getting oil on our fingers when we're fixing our bike chain, or repairing a car or something, you get greasy fingers. Yeah, maybe you'll use a little bit of soap. Or if you're painting a house, get paint on your skin, not healthy, you might have to use some chemicals to get it off. Okay, those are those situations. But in terms of everyday cleanliness, there are a few elements to consider, and it's generally the elements of health. First of all, what are you eating? If you're not eating clean, you will be dirty from the inside. If you're eating animal products, for which we are not biologically adapted to eat and digest, if you're eating fermented milk products like cheese and yogurt and even milk, which ends up fermenting inside our body, if you're consuming poisons like alcohol and other drugs, you're obviously not clean. And also there's the element of whether or not the food you eat is digested fully, because if it's not, then it usually decays inside us and creates toxin. It's not burning clean, so we end up being, again, sort of poisoned from the inside. So a clean diet, essentially a fruit-based diet, is essentially to stay clean. And once you eliminate onion and garlic and dead animal flesh and milk and all that stuff, you stop smelling bad, generally. Especially if you're eating only fruit, you smell almost nothing. And this is my own experience being around other fruit eaters, and it's my own experience with my own body. There's almost no body odor, and yeah, I go to the toilet, it smells like papaya. Things like sleep will also affect your cleanliness level, because if you're not getting enough sleep, your body is not as efficient, not as healthy, and generally it is not as efficient in eliminating toxins, etc., which again sort of clogs up your system, and then you end up being what we could consider unclean or unhealthy from the inside. But let's move on to the outside, the skin. The skin is self-cleansing, truly. Our body is a self-cleansing, self-healing, self-maintaining, self-organizing organism, and it's been that for millions of years. All the animals in nature, all of nature, all the plants, everything is self-maintaining, self-regulating. We don't have to invent soap in order to be healthy. Cleanliness is a natural part of health, so it's all a natural thing when we're in our natural habitat. So that means naked, really. As soon as you put on clothing, you trap your skin, essentially. Imagine sweating, and then this goes into your t-shirt, and then you keep it in there, it starts fermenting, the bacteria starts eating your sweat, they poop, and that stinks. So that's not clean. So essentially we want to get off our clothing, ideally, and we want to be out and about in the air. And not only that, but we want to be exposed to sunshine as well. Sunshine directly on the skin cleans the skin. UV radiation, This is used in hospitals to sterilize equipment. UV radiation kills bacteria. So being exposed to sunshine every day, ideally on the whole body, is an essential part of staying clean on the outside. And on the inside, it even penetrates through and into the blood, in fact. So we're outside, we're exposed to the fresh air, exposed to the sun, wearing minimal clothing, eating a fruit-based diet, getting enough sleep. These are the elements of optimal cleanliness. Not living a life where we're stuffing everything and anything inside our bodies, not getting enough sleep, working way too hard, wearing too much clothing, not moving around, and then, oh, but you know, I washed my skin with this special soap and I shampooed my hair and then I spray myself with deodorant and perfume and now I smell like flowers, right? No, that doesn't work. That shit stinks, man. That perfume, I can't stand smelling perfumes. They're this kind of gruesome, terrible, nauseating smells. They're not clean, they're dirty. So you can see how our definition of clean is completely upside down. What we consider clean in today's society, shampoo, soap, perfume, is in fact, per definition, dirty. It's unhealthy, it's chemical, it's not good for our skin, it's not good for our body, it's unclean, unhealthy. Whereas the things that we generally consider dirty, like, oh, look at this guy with a beard and this dreadlocks and you know, it's just shoving fruit in his face and burping. Oh, he's so dirty. But you know what? No, I'm perfectly clean. Burping is not dirty. It's dirty if your stomach contents is disgustingly dirty. That's when it's dirty. If your stomach is full of dead animal flesh, rotting and decaying and not digesting well, you bet that burp is gonna stink and that your farts are gonna stink as well. And guess what? You're dirty, but no amount of soap and perfume can ever cover it up. It can only add to your toxic burden. It can only add to your dirtiness. So, what is cleanliness? Cleanliness is health. And there's always a range, you know. If we're not living in the tropics, we have to wear clothing, yes, of course. But yeah, we'll shower more often, change our clothes more often, make sure we get it off and expose ourselves to the sun as often as we can. Shower with water, but this idea that we have to shower 3 times a day and spray ourselves with chemicals and rub our skin, and this is just an overcompensation for the fact that we are living unhealthy lives. So do a 180 about your ideas about cleanliness. If you were thinking soap was clean, you know, you need to change your views, observe nature, and realize that clean is default in nature. Clean is default. Every animal maintains a healthy diet, a healthy life, and cleans itself with water. Maybe it licks itself. Some animals do that, and there's no need to get extreme about it. And it all boils down to healthy living, basically. Be sure to check out our website at sweetnaturalliving.com to read about health in general. We have an FAQ there with questions. You can also ask your question if you have it. And there's also a page which talks about the different elements of health and how they work and how to implement them in your life. So be sure to check that out and stay tuned for more videos coming up about health and clean living. See you around.